This is the story of how my friends and I completed the game Valheim up to its current point of development, Mistlands. If you haven't played Valheim, or are worried about spoilers, I would urge you to first play the game yourself, and enjoy the discoveries you make before coming to enjoy this narrative. Now that we have that out of the way, sit back and rest, for today, we venture into a new world, Valheim. We awaken in a beautiful new world, filled with lush vegetation, stunning scenery, animals roaming free, and filled with little bastard graylings trying to break your stuff every 5 seconds. I turn to see my friends who have also joined me in our quest to complete Valheim. Jackpotski, Armor 1093, and AlphaBlue 177. Together we built our first homes and carved a place next to the shore for safety. For a while things were easy, minus the occasional Grey Dwarf attacks, but we managed to call this place our home. It wasn't long, however, that the true objective for our being here was brought to light. We had to fight the gods of this realm to satisfy Odin, to allow us to proceed onward to Valhalla. With this in mind, we began to curb stomp the first boss, Eichfir, with relative ease, twice in fact. Eichfir is mainly a tutorial boss for the game to get people to learn the mechanics of how to summon bosses and what to expect. This wasn't exactly an achievement, but the powers of Eichfir is. Eichfir's powers are very helpful by giving us much better rate of using stamina and running and swimming, something we will constantly be relying on as the game progressed. I wish I could have shown you the actual footage of this, but I wasn't sure at the time if we were going to play until completion, so I wound up not recording anything before the second boss in this tale. Sorry. Anyway, after defeating Eichfir and mastering the art of metalworking with bronze, we traveled far and wide searching for the next boss, the Elder. This being resides in the Black Forest, a treacherous biome filled with grey dwarves, skeletons, and worst of all, trolls.
No! God, please, no!
In order to find this thing, we had to search inside of crypts to discern the location and build our first boat to traverse great distances with the wind as our ally. After a while, we managed to find this island where the Elder resided, and we set about building a beachhead. Finding a convenient stone tower and planting a portal to teleport between our home and this place would become a well-used strategy for boss fights. Seriously, don't ever go anywhere without a teleporter. Things will suck if you don't. Now that we've found the Elder, it was time to gather our forces. Together, Jackpotski, AlphaBlue, and I fighting the boss. Everyone ready?
Okay, get ready. Yep.
There it goes.
There he comes. The Elder is awakened. He's a big boy.
Watch out for the roots that he uses to attack. The Elder is by far one of the most fun bosses to fight in Valheim, as he is out of control in how much destruction is going on while the fight ensues.
Good, Dad.
I'm here.
Good, I'm almost back.
Oh,
As long as the health bar is on your screen, you are fine.
oh my
There
god,
we go.
I nearly got crushed by a tree.
Lovely.
He hit this pine so hard that the tree fell over.
Jesus.
Oh boy! One of the roots spawned inside of the fire. So it just destroyed itself.
Oh, he is looking right at me. Hello, friend. At
one point, skeletons, enemies of everything else in the Black Forest, kept coming over to fight the Grey Dwarves. This led to the most chaotic fight I've ever seen in a boss fight, where 4 different people were all fighting each other at the same time. After many deaths later, we finally managed to kill the Elder and receive his head and each swamp key.
He's almost dead. One more. I've got this. Yeah!
Nice, good job, buddy.
Nice.
Woo!
Fucking hell.
My bow almost broke. I've got a sliver left on
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
Alright, everyone meet up at the spawn point.
Look at that. Now we cut trees 60% better.
Yay.
Wanderer, look to your feet and tread upon our tomb. 1,000 bones without their meat will drag you to your doom. By this point in the game, news had traveled to other friends that we were going to try and complete Valheim. We hailed 2 new additions to our community, FlyingCow, aka Art, and in our game as Valrus, and Suku, who went by Ignis. FlyingCow would become our de facto sage of the community. He had played more Valheim than us, but hadn't played past Bone Mass. His arrival was very welcome, and he is given the best accommodations that was available, the second half of my home, as he wasn't ready to build his home yet, and I had enough space. Though, at the time, this would be a temporary living arrangement. Art would spend the rest of this entire adventure living in my closet, because neither of us could be bothered to build another home by the end.
What's going on?
Heyo. Now we were a true kingdom of friends, ready to take on our newest challenge, Bone Mass. We first started looking for swamp biomes. Until this point, we had honestly been too afraid to enter the dark and dangerous biome, as it was infested with fearsome foes such as skeletons, wraiths, poisonous leeches, blobs, and the most terrifying creatures of all, known as Draugr. At first, our search for the swamps were surprisingly fruitless ventures. We found quite sizable areas to go, but they didn't seem to have the prize that we were looking for, sunken crypts. This did get rather demoralizing after a while, because this often involved a lot of accidents of us getting clotheslined by a Draugr hiding behind a tree, or being mercilessly killed by a wraith descending from the sky, because day and night pass relatively quickly when you're trying not to die in search of a rocky box. Eventually, we did start finding the sunken crypts, but not after also discovering the wonderful world that lies beyond the swamps, the plains, and its equally vexing inhabitants will come greet you if you just happen to be close enough to the biome. Despite all these issues, we finally did find the glyph to show us where Bone Mass was, and continued our journey south to meet this boss. Meanwhile, we kept improving our research and equipping ourselves with new iron equipment. I catch you. I'm just kidding.
Do a flip.
Actually, you can die from jumping off this height. You see? I just saw his health go from like 150 down to like almost nothing. He managed to barely survive. As we evolved from our Bronze Age to the Iron Age, Art and I scouted ahead and began creating a beachhead for our troops to deploy in the field safely, and began our assault on the monster. Feeling confident with our stone tower that I had built alongside Art's wooden structure, we began mustering our forces. We were rather excited, but Art, our sage, would say, "Nay, you fools, you must use the weapon known as a mace to defeat this enemy." Not quite like that, but he did say we were supposed to use blunt weapons to deal the most damage to swamp enemies who were vulnerable to them. "Nah, but we can take them," we naively said as we all marched off to fight the boss. Okay, and make sure you don't die and keep your distance. I don't even know what we're walking into. I just know it's
There's a reason we need a bunch of arrows.
Yep.
I have 84 flint arrows.
I made 100 fire arrow, 100 flint arrow.
Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, we need withered bones.
I brought a full stack.
Okay, just chuck it in this mouse thing, and then everyone pump your poison right now. 10 minutes on the clock.
Here
It comes. Glad I'm recording now.
Yep. Let's see what this network looks like.
Oh,
The mass is moving.
God, what is that? That is literally
That's a
Nurgle.
big boy.
That is
You're
Nurgle.
demon of Nurgle.
Watch out for the blob.
Oh my god, we're doing all to it.
You are dead! Not a big surprise!
Pay attention to me.
Come on, you big.
Maybe we should have made Ooze bombs. I saw that we were able to make some, but
I need to run. I'm quarter HP.
I see that. Trying to get the aggro these guys off of you.
Yes, game.
No,
I would really like to pick up f***ing daffodils at this time.
One eternity later.
I think I'm just gonna get my fallback.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too.
This was a sad day indeed for all. We fought long and hard, but ultimately we had to retreat. The boss would deal too much damage, and we constantly kept getting knocked into the water to unequip our weapons to swim.
You knocked me into the water.
All was not lost, however. As we retreated, I had an idea. During this hopeless battle, I noticed that the biome itself was the majority of the reason Bone Mass was winning. On his own, he was fairly manageable, but in this element, he would be surrounded by spawning enemies that whittled us down. Waves upon waves of Draugr, skeletons, leeches, and blobs would appear to take opportunistic potshots at us, and if it wasn't enough, wraiths would come finish us off because it turned nighttime during the fight. As we ran, I decided to conduct an experiment. A new skill called kiting was implemented, and I kited this boss out of his own biome. Now things would be interesting, as I had managed to pull this awful amalgamation of gore and poisonous foulness into the tranquil metals biome where our teleporter resided.
Ooh.
Where do we get bronze from?
Copper and tin. You have to forge bronze from the forge. Oh, there's... He's now spawning skeletons and at the top of my tower.
As if it were something out of a Godzilla movie, I looked on one last time as the blob man broke holes in my tower in his attempt to kill me.
This, I'm just gonna teleport out of here. Ah! Come on! Get up! There we go. I got stuck on something.
Blob trophy.
Why can't I get up the step? There we go. This. I'm just leaving.
It wouldn't be for a few game sessions later that we would try to finish the job, but this time we were ready. Heeding the wisdom of art, we had armed ourselves with iron maces, and we stocked up on poison resistance meads, and a cunning plan to vanquish this enemy and finally see what lies in the plains.
Iron mace. 10 iron.
This guy's trying to go fight the boss with a bronze mace. What?
Yeah. Imagine that.
This cunning plan was... everyone jump through the portal and beat the absolute shit out of him.
Do this!
We all just go through the same time? I don't know. We're gonna find out.
We got blobs here, but he's not here.
Is it the place that I helped build or no?
No, well, yes, yours is outside.
Oh, he's still here. Watch your right side.
Oh, I see it. Okay, yep. Popping my first poison resist.
And...
he's throwing up. Get him.
Yeah, alt attack.
I'm killing the spawns real quick because they're.
Okay.
He's almost dead.
He's almost down. Let's get him.
Get him off.
Should I bother? No, I'm not gonna bother with poison resistor.
He's dead.
Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah!
Success!
Nice.
We successfully defeated Bone Mass in what I wish I would say was an epic battle.
Okay.
Oh, my
Yeah, where's the
God.
trophy? I didn't get the
He's over
trophy.
here. He's over here. Talk to this guy.
Hey, Raven.
This bone contains powerful. Yes, that's what we need. Yeah, all buried treasure. Basically.
There it is.
Yep.
You know which bone adds to the container.
Yay! Good job, us.
Instead, it was a far easier fight than before, a little too easy. You see, not only were our club's superb weapons at beating the enemy's health down, but kiting Bone Mass was almost game-breakingly unfair. While in the meadows, Bone Mass was severely weakened. Well, more accurately, we were no longer weakened. The swamp is a perpetually wet place, and being wet in Valheim is miserable. That is because it reduces both your health and stamina regeneration substantially. Now fighting in a dry biome, we regenerated our health and stamina far more rapidly and were free from reinforcements for bone mass.
Yup.
Oh, somebody's
More like
pulsing.
3.5.
Yeah, there's random stuff all over the place. It's probably not a whole lot of anything interesting around here, though. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Yeah, so we'll have to work on like a new base for mountains and maybe a new swamp or something, or whatever the we do, because we do want to upgrade our iron all the way before we fight the next boss. And honestly, we want to get silver.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing over here, glowing and stuff? Oh, you're using the using the thing. Yes.
No.
Trying to look for something.
Skeleton on wings.
Yeah, you're not gonna find jack shit out here, dude.
Dig for the treasure.
God, get over here.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing that.
Alright, yeah.
I forgot.
Get me out of here!
Be distracted. Get over here.
Where? Get over where?
The stones, the ritual stones.
To activate the thing.
Yep. Are we ready, gentlemen?
Yes.
Here, yes.
I have forgotten. Either.
Oh man, yeah, you can't be using your antler pick. By the way,
Damage modifier, resistant versus
you
blood.
need an
flash,
actual like
computer.
iron pick, otherwise you can't mine other stuff with it.
No.
Ah.
Yeah,
It's a giant trophy compared to the others.
oh yeah, it's just resist versus blunt slash.
Oh, it's a giant block, so.
Well, I mean, you can activate whichever one you want. I honestly, the Ecthier one's probably the most useful for general stuff.
Yeah, it depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
If you're going for combat, if we're taking another boss or something on, I'm bringing this.
Yeah, that's.
And then for general purpose, egg sphere is the way to do it.
Pretty sure the next boss, the dragon, actually does frost damage. So.
Yep.
Anyway, enough said about him. We all got our new wishbones and set our sights on the next biome, the mountains. Black wings across the moon and sun, down from the mountain our mother comes. Her weeping tears will fall like rain, her voice will call us home again. We did it! We had vanquished the swamp boss, and now it was time to finally try finding the mountain boss and perhaps the plains. This part was a little weird. Up to this point, things have been rather straightforward as to which biome we were supposed to go next. The Elder drops the swamp key, so, naturally, that meant we had to go to the swamp, and in our quest to try and discover the bone mass boss, we had run into the plains. We eventually realized that it was indeed the mountain we had to go to, as the plains was just too powerful.
Watch out for the
Hold on, I'm just gonna try these. Didn't seem to really slow him down. Oh, there's a locks.
Yeah, watch out for the locks. Oh,
We are leaving. Let them fuck with each other.
this is pretty entertaining to watch.
I mean, yeah.
No, that troll is destroyed.
Yeah, what'd you think was gonna happen?
Mainly because of those Desquitos, the biggest pain in the of the whole game thus far. They fly towards you and almost instantly kill you with that better armor. And where to find such better armor? The mountains. Because it houses one resource no other biome to date has. Silver. So we embarked on our quest, venturing into the mountains with our new shiny iron armor. At first with a heightened sense of caution, but then eager curiosity, we pressed on to search as much as we could. This was only possible after we had learned to craft the cauldron by using the forge. Why was this piece of kit so important? Because you could brew and ferment frost resistance mead. Why is this mead so important? Because the mountain is cold. You see, going into the mountain biome not only sucks because there are trumpy dogs just trying to eat your butt, but the biome itself will start to kill you just by being there without this mead, so drink up. Before long, the entire mountain biome by our house had been explored and we resorted to find others. In doing so, we discovered that our next target was far, far away from where we lived. A good judge of the world away? You bet. It was going to take a while to get there, and since we beat Bone Mass, I had constructed my new and beloved longship. So one night, after a while of mining iron with Art, I decided to embark on my expedition. But first, a side quest that happened during all of this. In the game, there's a friendly NPC called Hildir, who will trade with you invaluable items to make your first magical weapons, such as the Mighty Frostner, a hammer that causes both frost damage and spirit damage to enemies. He will also sell you Thunderstone, which meant that we could finally delete items from the world without having random debris sitting at the bottom of the ocean and running up my PC CPU. It took us about a real-life week to find the trader, however, going so far as to seek out a map generator to get an idea of where the trader would be. Finally, after searching islands after islands all over the place, we had found our man. He would be instrumental in our success in the Mistlands later. Anyway, back at the task at hand, I sailed far, far away, and constantly lived in fear of being attacked by the errant Deskito who may have seen me sailing by. This was actually a thing. During my trek, I saw many islands and truly took in the beauty of this wonderful game. It truly is a pleasure to just soak up the environment and see the game truly show you the wonderful world Iron Gate has built for us. After some time sailing, I finally reached a new, marvelous island. It was beautiful and featured all the biomes that the game had to offer at this stage. Yes, you heard me right. All of them. It was both interesting and terrifying to see the Mistlands for the first time. A great wall of mist blocking out all that can be seen. I did jump on a rock with an Yggdrasil shoot sticking out of it and tried to harvest it, but my iron axe was useless, felling a child of the world tree. So after much exploring from the ocean, I found a sliver of the meadows biome with a huge black forest area and settled into a stone tower. The problem I ran into was I forgot to bring a portal with me again, so I needed to forage for circling cores among other things while Art helped fix my mistake at home. An embarrassing mistake, I know, but thankfully easy to rectify considering that I had new silver armor, courtesy of the wishbone in the mountain, and friends at home to build another portal to get me home again. Here I began building a new base. At first it was supposed to be temporary, but then it eventually became known as the Outpost. By this point, things had been going especially well, but we had lost our friend Armor to his job, and Jackpotski was also busy. AlphaBlue did play somewhat for the beginning of our exploration into the plains, but after a while things dwindled down to just me, Tsuku, and Art. We were not deterred, however, and with our determination we set about arming ourselves with as much silver equipment as possible and looked towards the plains that blocked our path. And I quickly said, "F that, we're going around the long way." Going into the plains was now survivable, as we had everything we need to be able to go there. We even located the plains boss, but we couldn't last long. At this stage, I had learned that the game has parts divided by bosses, but each part has its own phases to deal with. The survival phase, where you are barely able to get around, but you need to harvest the resources to make the armor to survive in that biome. This is followed by the thriving phase. You now have everything from that biome to survive there comfortably and will only die from being unlucky or forgetting to eat sometimes. Finally, the boss phase. This is where the biome is now routine. You have everything you need to fight the boss, but you need to find the boss if you haven't already found them and set up a respawn portal. This is also where you go gather the necessary items to summon said boss to then dominate them. We were in the boss phase of the mountain, which puts us in the survival phase of the plains, which means we were not equipped enough to fight the several fueling villages trying to mess with us on the way to the mountain boss. So away around the mountain we go! The journey was alright, but it did take a lot longer than we would have liked to climb the spine of our island while dodging planed bosses at every opportunity. Eventually I managed to reach the boss and cement our place there by setting up a portal before being mercilessly killed by whatever mobs were around. When ready, Art, Tsuku, and myself stepped through the portal and hunted for the eggs needed to raise the boss.
I know of that does this, so...
Sacrifice her spawn.
Yep.
Thanks. There we go.
Alright, so... Here we go.
That does not stack.
Yes, it does. Bone mass and Ike third.
Oh, you did bone mass. Never mind.
Our new foe was Motor, the queen of all dragons. We summoned the great beast and the battle began. This battle would probably have been one of the cooler battles of the game if it hadn't been for the fact that Motor seemed to be having pathing issues. We kept fighting her, delivering volleys after volleys of arrows while smashing her with anything available when she was on the ground.
I can't. We're both stuck.
Oh, she's on fire. That's all I can guarantee. Oh, there's another Drake here too.
Okay, now she's
That one on fire.
Okay. Oh, we have a golem.
Oh, right behind me.
Yeah, watch out.
It was honestly a great fight, but it was a lot easier than expected. She kept landing around the same place she did before, and because of the rocky terrain, she almost always seemed to miss us with being below her reach.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna pickaxe you to death. Come here.
So that f***ing thing is still here too.
I am stuck.
Okay, stay over there, and I'll leave you alone. How does that sound? Okay, well, f*** you too then.
I got Drake's trophy.
Hey, nice.
Got him. Alright. Golem's down.
Good job, Stefan. The thing's on the ground, or she's on the ground.
Alright, I'm on my way.
Yeah, it's got a lot of health. I think as long as somebody keeps it lit, the rest of us should just don't do that. But yeah. But yeah.
If I'm a club breaks it all. You don't need to use the big axe. One hit from the club will break it.
I was just curious to see what it would do. Oh, that's a miss.
You're poison and on fire.
I don't think it's vulnerable to poison. Get my stamina back. Okay, landed.
Going after it. Hello! It's me again, bitch. Remember me? I'm going to stand here and do nothing because my stamina ran out.
Yep. Oh, that actually did a lot of damage. Healing pot time.
And it's almost down.
Come on. There it is.
Yeah, motor and tears.
Oh, man.
Nevertheless, we killed the dragon, received her tears, and used them to create artisan tables. Now is time to really focus our efforts on the plains.
Oh, and it hit a blizzard right as we killed it, thank God.
Long ages past he wore a crown beneath a blood-red sky. Now naught is left of all he was, but his spirit cannot die.
The plains was by far one of the more interesting biomes in the game. Thus far, the closest thing to finding a sentient creature was bone mass, or the fenrings from the caves in the mountains. In the plains, you find a new kind of enemy, one that is crafty and more organized. The Fuelings, heralded by their "oh" noises, would be relentless in their assaults if they discover you. If not them, then the Descutos that dealt far more damage to you than I think was reasonable. Seriously, I think that they need to be nerfed, and I will spare you the rant, but Descutos are definitely the worst thing in the game. If you died in the plains, you can bet more than half of those times were from those b****s. Are they easy to kill? Yes. But if you get caught off guard and not have nearly all of your food bar with the best food available for your health, then you're almost guaranteed to die. If you die, then good luck getting your stuff back because they tend to linger and will spawn kill you. Enough said. On this same island where we fought Motor, and we found not one but two large plains biomes, one of them also featured the boss that we had to fight next, Yagluth, the Goblin King. The plains portion of the game is honestly the longest to do. We spent a long time trying to gather all the resources needed to get ready for the boss, but also because we wanted to smell the roses. We decided while we were prepared for this mighty foe, that we would also start devoting time to taming animals and ensuring a reliable source of meat and other ingredients for higher tiers of food. In doing so, I spent a lot of time taming a wolf. Here is where the game gets a little frustrating, because the game is so vast and demanding on the computer, the game will only load games in chunks. The thing is, if you are trying to tame a wolf, you need to tame them in their own biome. Mobs tend to run off after you've entered another biome, save for some overlap, and as such, taming a wolf becomes a long affair. That is until you figure out that the only reliable way to do this is to sit down next to the pen that you have them held in and wait. This seriously took forever to do, but finally, after I snuck up to the pen, by now laden with food, I sat there and watched YouTube waiting for the wolf to finally come around and tame. After about 10 minutes, I finally finished taming my first wolf, Luna, named after my first dog. That took me about a week to do in real time if you consider the time offline from the game, and I quickly tamed the second wolf, Achilles. Afterwards, I let the wolves keep multiplying, giving us a steady supply of wolves, and made a rule that all but the named animals would be used for food. A huge letdown personally for me was the inability to transport wolves and other animals. This may sound ridiculous, but hear me out. Wolves are the only combat-capable AI that you have in the game so far except for summoned skeletons, which can travel with you unless you need to sail or teleport. You can only use them for food or to defend your base, and that's about it. I was rather let down when my wolves couldn't teleport with me. There are mods that allow teleporting anything, but unless the enemy unloads when you go through the portal, then anything and everything can also teleport through with you. Not the ideal situation if you have a mosquito chasing you.
Oh my god. How many of there are you?
Back to the plains, we eventually created a massive barley and flax farm courtesy of Art, thereby creating a massive glut in the market for linen, to the point that we still don't know what to do with. You only really use linen for basically armor and some capes, and that's about it. Hopefully Valheim will add more things to use linen for, but that's about all that you can do with it, so we just had a ton of linen just lying around. Barley, on the other hand, became a staple because we always needed it to make bread and other meals. Finally, we were ready to face Yagluth and leave this awful place. Together, we mustered our forces and ventured off to confront the monster.
Start generating.
Fancy weapon. Where's your fancy weapon? There you go, glows. Good enough. All right, let's go. good talk.
That was gonna come up.
But not before we found a stone tower in the adjacent Black Forest biome so we could teleport back to the fight when we would die. And oh boy did we die. Get real cozy with this portal in particular because we used this a lot before we finally beat this guy. We marched out into the summoning area, a very cool looking stone hand sort of structure that cradled the altar needed to summon the boss. We added the remaining totems that we had liberated from the other fueling camps, and was met by an awesome skeletal monster. At first, the fight seemed to be going pretty well, but things started to take a turn. Similar to what happened with Bone Mass, Yagluth is far more of a problem in his own biome because he is both a tough boss to beat, but also is consistently backed up by mobs spawning in as we fought the thing. We'd start dying either from bad luck or being outclassed by the boss, only to spend even more time in frustration dealing with the mosquitoes showing up to kill us as we tried to get our equipment back.
I'm gonna kill that mosquito. Tsuku, you wanna try to get your back while we hold the river?
Or just eat something.
Eventually, this fight turned into a survival mission of each of us trying to help the other find their body without being killed on the way to retrieve our items. Meanwhile, the rampaging Yagluth continued to bring fireballs down from the sky, and numerous foolings came to his aid. It was a bitter defeat, but we returned after a couple of days with a new plan. My plan. We implemented kiting again. This time, instead of running out into the plains to fight the boss until sundown where the foolings and other mobs would spawn, we would lure Yagluth into the Black Forest nearby.
There's a village to the right of us.
No, dude, there is like 10 right here. What is going on?
This plan led to the eventual win for us, but also probably the most confusing and chaotic battle we faced in the game.
Oh, that was close.
With trees crashing down all over the place, and rival mobs fighting all around us. It was truly pandemonium.
Oh, what do you want, Grey Dwarves? How are the Grey Dwarves not taking damage from this?
Very good question.
20 seconds and then I can take my heal potion. Gotta back off. Go away, Grey Dwarves. Got a little entourage going on over here. Oh crap, I'm about to die.
Finally, after a long and hard battle, the battle was over and we celebrated.
He's down! He's down!
Yeah. Oh, nice. Diablo's soul has been defeated. Yay.
And now the foolings are here for
Are you fucking kidding me? Wow.
Harold, the friendly thing, is here.
We truly felt accomplished having finally defeated Yagluth, even when we were killed by a random group of fuelings while we were celebrating.
Just so much stuff on the ground over here, it's nuts. Alright, let's see what happens.
Yeah, Fry or Frost Lightning. Yep.
Nice.
Look at that idiot. Forsaken sacrificed. Cool.
Chapter 5, The Mistlands. Born in armor, mother of many, queen without a crown, ruler beneath.
Here we are. After many months, we had finally arrived in the new and exciting world of the Mistlands. A bizarre new biome filled with mist, new monsters, and our first friendly NPCs who wasn't just a trader. This area was great because unlike the other biomes where they were visually very impressive, the Mistlands was both visually and audibly interesting. You could say that the terror you felt when a Death Eater was on its way to ruin your day, that made the plains that way, and fueling's doing much the same, but the Mistlands was altogether different. There was nothing more terrifying than having encountered your first Jarl in the wild, and the ominous horn sounds it makes as it reverberates around you. When I first ran into them, it was incredibly cool despite being melted by both ticks and the Jarl's fire. We began our new adventure into this biome with caution. This, however, quickly changed when I started finding the three main ingredients we were looking for. First, I found the world tree's roots, necessary for creating sap, which is needed to refine into Aether or magic-giving food. Second, we needed to find and mine out the ancient skeletons that had soft tissue to be used as fuel for the refining machine and creating the refined Aether. Lastly, we needed to begin finding the infested mines. This would eventually lead us to the location of the Queen, so we could slay it, and provide cores and royal jelly that we needed for crafting. Our first objective was unfortunately harder than one might expect. The only way to extract sap is to find the camp of our new friends, the Dvenger. Oh, I found a village! The Dvenger village. These blue dwarves are really cool, but they're the worst people to piss off as they're very capable of killing you. Take care, warrior. You have happened upon an outpost of the forlorn Dvenger clans. Long since separated from their kin in Nividalir, trapped here, they still toil, expecting reprieve from that will never come. It is a sad fate. Stubborn fools, the Dvenger will tolerate strangers and vagrants, but they are quick to anger should you accept them, which I am sure you will manage to do sooner or later. Damn seekers, smashed our black cores back into the deep then, I guess. Oh crap. I died. It was by sheer dumb luck that when I first managed to get myself killed trying to steal their extractor that Art and I managed to not only grab my gear, but also grab the extractor on the way out before we were both caught in a death cycle. Take all this shit. Don't give a fuck.
Just run out.
Oh!
Run for it. Run for it.
Dude, I just did the Matrix there.
Once we had the extractor, we just needed to find a good spot to start getting sap from the tree. In the meantime, we also discovered the major enemies of this biome, the Seekers. They were insanely cool and somewhat infuriating, how they could not only come out of the mist suddenly, but also be coupled with the Yalls and Seeker soldiers. Fierce and hard to kill, the soldiers were by far the hardest thing to get around, and usually involved one of us playing as a distraction, while the other two would hit the weak spot of the soldier, its butt-looking thing. While searching the Mistlands, we began needing to set up bases. At first, we started in a ruin.
Rise, motherfucker!
Oh crap, there's a Seeker in here. Right by where the portal is.
That wasn't there when I got there. Must have just showed up.
Yeah, I just got here.
Yeah, do you see why I hate this place?
But quickly realized that it would be far easier to just build our bases right on top of the infested mines. And so it began, the grinding portion of the game where we needed to keep venturing into the amazing mines that were filled with royal jelly and cores that we needed to build our new crafting tables, among other things.
Run. No, don't go far. Alright, so there are things we dig out. There's supposed to be tons of enemies, and apparently, like, there's fake walls and so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, don't go down there.
I just fell right through the floor, and there's down here.
I saw you. Okay, there's stairs here. Alright, good.
Ooh, royal jelly! The only thing I would say that was annoying was that because the mines are randomly generated, the only real thing you were guaranteed to gain from them was royal jelly, coupled with a sense of a letdown.
Damn it, there's no core. We need the cores. Oh, fuck, we're supposed to find the cores in here.
Oh, they're here. They're the lights.
Oh. Thought they were supposed to be in the boxes. There's none in here, huh?
No. At first, these mines were by far the coolest things that have been implemented into the game. And it truly felt like you just stepped into an ancient site that was overrun with monsters. This initial sense of wonder soon turned into a sense of disappointment and rather irritating, as the black cores that you needed to create those aforementioned workbenches could not be there at all, or could be all the cores you could ever need. Not to mention, royal jelly is only found in these caves. This meant that you had to continue raiding these caves regardless of whether or not you cleared one or two before, because those two you did before could have been tiny and empty. I just got thrown out of the cave again. This sense of disappointment only grew as we became better equipped where the enemies posed little to no challenge. The cool thing is that we had a reason to continue going to the caves besides looking for the Queen's location, but this soon felt rather repetitive. Another thing to mention was the mines were harder and harder to find since you were forced to keep roaming around looking for a structure obscured by mist most of the time. Anyway, we still persevered and eventually found that the Queen's location was south. Far south. A good ways away. As the guy who had sailed halfway around the world already, I for one was very excited to hear the news. But that would still take a while as we still needed to get our gear upgraded and pack for the trip. In the meantime, we still had other objectives of harvesting soft tissue. Time for another side quest or two. One was attempt to tame Loxes. We decided we really wanted to tame Loxes, and after a while, we finally managed to do just that. Not until after Art and I devoted quite a lot of time digging a pit for the Lox to live in while it tamed and deconstructed our only ways in and out of the pit. This pit idea was meant for two things. One, to keep the Lox in, and not destroy anything as the land, thankfully, didn't take damage from Loxes. The pit would also be surrounded by a stone wall. This was to keep the fuelings and other mobs out of the pit and causing more hassle for us. Finally, after some time and having to adapt our plan a little, we finally had our first tamed Lox, who I named Nala, after my second dog. Once tamed, the two Loxes were ridden from the plains to the Black Forest where our outpost was. This was because I wanted to make sure that they keep the enemies attacking to be well underpowered to kill the Loxes. What we didn't expect was that the Loxes themselves would also be a problem. We wound up having to dig a pit for them to stop them from constantly breaking out and attacking the raid dwarves and skeletons that happened to stop by. In addition, the Loxes would try to form a Megazord, or Megalox, to try and escape. This was simultaneously hilarious and infuriating. Not only did loxes spend ages to populate, but they constantly kept being a problem, to which we eventually gave up and left them to their devices while we hunted the wild ones with our new arbalist and magical weapons. The other side quest we had was chickens. Where the loxes posed a problem of breaking out, chickens were the hardest to get in. Once you've killed Yagluth, the trader will finally have eggs available to sell for a modest sum of 1,500 gold. After scrounging up the 3,000 gold needed to get 2 chickens, we then had a new problem. In a recent attack by the enemy NPCs, bats presented themselves as a huge problem for boats and farm animals. They can fly, they do little damage, but they add up quick against animals that have no ability to attack flying bats. So the decision was made to make probably the most convoluted chicken coop as an extension to the city wall, featuring almost an airlock type design for the chimney to avoid bats flying in from the roof. Later, a palisade wall would be implemented with some of the wolves we had tamed earlier to guard the chicks against shamans who could spray poison through the city walls to kill the chickens. The last line of defense was also to keep a couple of our eggs in storage, just in case we needed to restart the chickens from scratch after a disastrous event. The chickens were the best addition to the game, as they not only allowed a reliable source of feathers, but the food their eggs and meat gave was top tier, by far worth every penny that Hildir had basically robbed from us. The last thing I will say about the chickens is that they are great for population. You may leave them alone for a whole gaming session and... Alright, it's time to go check on the chickens and see how many we got this time. Oh my god, there's so many chickens! Holy crap. Dude, oh my god, they're synchronized as well. They're synchronized chirping. There are so many chickens. I can't even leave. They're body blocking the crap out of the door. Back to our progression. After a while of harvesting the necessary resources, Art, Tsuku, and I finally decided it was time to confront the boss. This was the coolest time of the game as we explored the new island and raided the last of the mines we needed to equip ourselves. Art decided to be our fighter, while I was going full magic, and Tsuku ran a little of both. Together, we set about exploring and finding the queen. After that, we finished our equipment and decided it was time to strike. Armed with our new carapace armor, feather capes, and magic, we descended to the queen's lair and used the seal breaker to open its area. Alright, are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Whoa. That's really cool.
Sealed the door and scattered the key. Leave her be.
Nah.
Nay, fool.
We will go and slay fools.
Wait, before we go in, one last thing before we go.
Tell me about it. I'm already in here.
Oh, I think I caught Tsuku with it. I just realized I could have done it.
Oh, pop X here for me, would you? Here they come.
We got it.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can flip down.
Venturing into the dark, we came into an open space, and the queen began its attack. The queen wants it all. Oh!
Okay, where is she?
Right above you guys.
But there's tons of broods, watch out.
Oh shit. I thought the broods didn't do anything.
If there are shit tons of them there, they will.
Where is she?
She's gonna be wandering around somewhere around here.
She was above us. I don't know where she went though.
I'm back here now. We fought long and hard with strategic breaks to make repairs, grab supplies, and rest before continuing our battle. During the battle, Art fell once, and so too did Tsukuyomi. Despite these setbacks, we worked together to get our items back and continued putting the pressure on the queen.
There we go. And then I'm gonna run, grab my stuff, and run back out, because I'll get corpse run.
Okay.
Thanks everyone out.
I'm leaving too, actually. Hold on.
Yeah,
No, I didn't mean to go out.
No, I
well,
mean,
might as well everybody go back in at the same time. Well, y'all in front of me, obviously.
also, I'm giving you this.
That'll
This will
be a
give you
great
a
use.
second.
Yeah. Okay, whenever y'all are ready, go first. I'll be right behind you.
Alright. Okay, watch it.
Okay, I'm going the other way.
Nope.
I'm fast. Can't see shit. Here's my stuff. Doesn't matter. Items are covered. Running back out the way I came. Can't see a damn thing.
Wait a second, there's a bunch of stickers over here.
No, it's fine. I'm out the door. Okay, re-equipping my stuff.
Finally, after much fighting, we killed the monster and completed our quest thus far. Come on!
Almost dead. 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
Long
with the
live
queen.
the queen! Hell yeah!
God, and dude, I'm getting some crazy frames. Okay, there we go. It's stabilized.
Did you get any items from her?
Yeah,
I didn't.
I did.
Oh.
I got 2 queen drop, placeholder item for a secret queen item drop,
Yeah.
and I have something else,
Wait, can
the
I-
queen trophy.
Can I see the queen drop?
No, here, y'all can just
Literally just a yellow
block. It's
It's
a
just
pink
a
block.
red block.
Look at the size of the freaking the trophy, by the way. Can I drop it on the ground?
Oh my gosh. Queen drop is just the.
Yeah, it's just a placeholder until they figure out what the next thing is.
In the end, we mounted our head at the altar and danced in celebration, as well as gawked at the weird placeholder item that is dropped as well, because they haven't actually added what the queen will actually drop next, which was actually quite amusing.
Oh, and it also increases eater regeneration. +1.
Oh, okay. So that's actually incredibly useful. Forsaken, sacrificed.
And that's it.
Yep.
Dude. For now, at least, until they make the next patch. Oh man, what a ride.
That was pretty awesome, actually. I really enjoyed that boss fight a lot more than I did the other ones.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. I'm hoping that the next one will be just as great. I am Cryptic Cypher, and thank you for joining me today here in Valheim. This is my first video on my channel that I've written a script for, and hope you enjoyed it. I really want to do this again sometime. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did going through this adventure. We plan to continue our quest further when the next major update occurs, but until then we are going to take a break. I really like this game, and I truly appreciate the hard work that Iron Gate has done to make a game that not only is a good distraction, but also creates an adventure story all unto itself. Special thanks again to Tsukuyomi, Art, Jackpotski, and AlphaBlue for being part of this video, and thank you Armor, not just for playing with us, but also allowing me to use some of his art in the video as well. Until the next video, bye bye!